Betrayal doesn't announce self. It doesn't knock on your door where a name tag that says, "Hello, I'm here to destroy your life." No, it slips in through the cracks where you've been a good husband, a good provider, a good man. It moves into your home, it's at your table, sleeps in your bed, and smells at you for morning coffee while planning its escape route. For 6 years, I was married to a whom I thought I knew. I was wrong. That Friday evening, her den room looked like something from a home magazine. Malikin had insisted on their unfresh last spring. It I mobile terrible, custom latin, those uncomfortable chairs that cost more than my first car. Her ballards, Richard and Linda Batters, sat across from us, working through the beef oil that Malikin had ordered from some offer brisket surface. Richard was holding coat about some merger his former law firm had Bush. The man left the sound of his own face almost as much as he left the remainder of free when he came from old money. Lind Dulon, her third class of wing catcher the chandelierly. Anne Malik, my wife of 6 years, the whom they'd built a life with, could test blocking at her. Every few minutes, her lips would drift though. A small smile would belay at the corner of her lips. Her thumb would move across the screen, head beneath the table's edge, but not head from me. I'm a cybersecurity consult. Noticing things people treat hide is literally my job. Chris, don't you think? Richard's face cut through me was a fish. Sorry, what was that? The Hender's case. The brother said to say. I'm sure you're right, Richard. He found at me no answer but continue. I washed my wife. That's my lichen. That brave, secret little smell I had sent directed at me once. Something called salted in my chest. Not Landviker. Not you. Just a recognition. The wali doctor might recognize a tumor on a scan. Clinical. Certain. Malik laughed softly at you for was on her screen. Must be something funny, I said. Her head snapped up. What? Your phone. You've been smiling at it Oliven. Yamma, she with her hand dismissively. Just work stuff. Sir from market sent a meme. Lee. I knew it immediately. Malikin did laugh at the memes. She barely tolerated them. Let me see, I said it, reach him offer. Chris, it's nothing. My hand closed around the phone before she could bowl to her. Military intelligence teaches you a lot of things. How to read people, how to stay under pressure, how to move fast when it matters. The chat was open. Not a meme, not seller from market. The first thing I saw was a photo that made my stomach drop. Then another. Then a message, I love you. Can't wait until we're finished together. And then son. Once I get the house in the divorce, we'll have a free with planned for 8 months of messages. I scored. But names, hotel receipt screenshot for records, plans. So many plans for a future that did include me except as a stone. The name at the top of the chat, Delak Holwa. Chris. Malikin's face had concern. Chris, give me my phone. Richard, I said it, and my face and strange at my own nerves, calm, level, like I was reading a vulnerable. Let me share some of your daughter's correspondence with you. What are you doing? Linda sat down her own class. I read the first message loud, explicit, detail. Richard's voice went high. I read the second. Linda's hand flew to her mouth. I read the third, the one about the house, about the divorce, about the money. Malikin land you cause the terrible. Give it back, Chris. Stop it. I had the phone from her easily, continue the trade. My face nearly forward. It briefed General Zone hostess. It testified in further court about security breaches. I could certainly narrate my wife's betrayal that breaking the door. This was from 3 weeks ago, I said it. I transferred another 5,000 to the. He won't notice. He never checks the accounts. By the time he figures it out, will be long gone. Richard stood up so fast he shuffled backward. Malik and Elizabeth batters. Daddy, it's a note, I can't explain, it means. I set the phone down on the table. It means by my can't, boss be lorca. Delric howlewa. That name mean he needs you, Richard. Senior Phoebe at him ready for Msotkes. Your daughter's boss. Married man, 2 children. Lindmat de sand like a wounded animal. Dinner is over, I said it, standing. Richard, Lind, take your daughter home. She is no longer my wife. Chris, please. Malikin was craving. The pretty tears she'd perfected over years of care to what she wanted. Please, just let me explain. It's not what it looks like. I was going to attend it. I swore I was going to tell you, when. I asked. Before or after you took the house? Before or after you killed the Tarikans? She had no answer for that. I walked out of the dining room, upstairs to the master bedroom. I bought at her suitcase, the expensive clothes fetus that she'd insisted on for her anniversary trip to birth, and began packing her things methodically, efficiently, the what I did the freeze. I could hear chatting downstairs. How could you be so stupid? Richard's fist under through the floor. Delric howlewa. A married man? Your own boss. Daddy, please. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I understand that you've made a fool of yourself and embarrassed this entire family. What are you thinking? Richard, lower your face. Lind, trying to smooth things over, always trying to smooth things over. Don't you tell me to lower my face. Her daughter has been conducting for 4 months and planned to divorce her husband for his money. His money, Lind. The money here and when she was busy, I left him. Magikin screamed. Is that so hard to understand? Derek loves me. We're going to be together. This wasn't for Rebecca's money. It was about what? About your corner offs. Your promotion. Richard laughed bitterly. You think I don't know how those things work? You think I spent 4 years in corporate law that seen 100 women just like you? The sound of something shatter. A class, maybe. Or AFS. Richard batters. That is enough. Linda's voice was sharper than it ever heard. It's not nearly enough. Not nearly. I kept backing. Her jewelry went into a small bag. The designer shoes she'd spent thousands on, the silk robes, the cashmere sweaters, the little luxuries she'd accumulated throughout her marriage. All of it, neatly organized, ready to go. 20 minutes later, Richard appeared in the door. He looked like he did 10 years. Chris, I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. If there is anything, there is. He nodded slowly. We're taking her to her house. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough, but I'm sorry. Good night, Richard. He hesitated, then turned and left. I heard car doors, an engine starting, tears on craft. Then sales. I finished packing her things and left the suitcase by the front door. Then I went to bed and slept soundly for the first 10 minutes. Strange, isn't it? The uncertainty had been the thing keeping me awake. The nagging feeling that something was wrong. Now that I know. And knowing, however brutal, was better than wonder. Saturday morning, I woke at 6, the same time I always did. Made coffee the same way I always did. Sat at the kitchen table with my laptop the same as every morning. But nothing was the same. I opened our bank accounts first. Joint checking. The balance was lower than it should have been. Much lower. I pulled up the transaction history and started tracking the withdrawals. Small amounts at first, a few hundred here and there. Then larger. 5,000. 8,000. All transferred and I can't never seen before. $47,000. Over at months. Maywe've had saved $47,000 into a secret key. I am not a man who rages. Religious wasteful. Rage makes you stupid. But sitting at that kitchen table and at those numbers, I felt something cold and sharp crystallized inside me. Not religion. Something more useful. Purpose. I called Neth Brooks. We'd been friends since college, roommates freshman year, crumbs at each other's weathers. He caught the divorce 2 years back, so he handed family loan. Said he understood the terrain. It's السادسة وثلاثون دقيقة صباحا the morning, he called when he answered. I need you at my house. Bring coffee. Bring your brain. It's about Malik. Buzz. How bad? Come find out. He showed up an hour later, to Lord Coffee's hand, looking like he'd dressed in the dark. He took one look at me first and sat down halfly at the kitchen table. All right, tell me freeze. So I did. The dinner, the phone, the wheelchair had come bell. Helen had oped her wing class, the messages, explicit, detailed, damn, the plans for divorce, for taking the house, for building a future on the wreckage of our marriage, and the money. $47,000 saved to offer at months while I trusted her, believed her, loved her. Nadith listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Said something, I said it. I'm trying to figure out which boat makes me a case. He shook his head slowly. The differ I could almost understand. People make mistakes. But the money, the planned, the systematic way she was said it ought to be the loser in a divorce she was in Gina. That's not a mistake. That's a premeditation. 47 grand, he repeated. That's not just an offer, curse. That's a preparation. That's exit strategy. I know what it is. What happened after you threw her? Any contact? She's been texting, calling. The usual playbook. It's not what it looks like. I was unattended. We can work through this. Or you consider that. Working through it. I looked at him like he'd gone a second hand. Right? Stupid question. He rubbed his face. Okay, let me think. Likely, you're in a strong position. The house is in your name. Purchased before the marriage. The embezzlement, and make no mistake, that's what this is, gives you kinds for a free. No alimony, no asset defeat beyond what likely mandated, both believe criminal charges if you wanted Bosch. I don't want criminal charges. I want her to lose everything she was planned to take from me. There's a difference between wind and destroying. Is that there? Nice met me. Chris, I've known you for 15 years. I've never seen you like this. You're scary calm. You think I should be screaming. Throwing the things. I think you're planned something, and I need to know what it is before I can help you. I stood, walked to the window, looked at the backyard where Malikin had wanted to put an ball. Derek Howlowa, I said it. That name mean anything to you? Derek Howlowa. Worry. He found. Why do I know that name? Because his company is one of my clients. Meridian Pharmaceuticals. I handed their cybersecurity. Nathan Zebra's shut up. That's potentially useful. Potentially. Chris? He said down his coffee. What are you thinking? I'm thinking I could divorce her quickly, Wogua, lick my wounds, rebuild. That's the silence rubbish, right? It's an rubbish. But she was planning to take me, my money, my future. She was going to leave me with nothing and ride off into the sunset with her married boss. I must hesitate. I don't want sensible, Nath. I want throw. Throw her. I want her to lose everything she planned to take from me. Her career, her reputation, her family's respect. I want Derek Howlow to lose everything, And I want to do it without breaking a kilo. Nalith was quite for a long moment. Then he smiled. Howard, Shob smiled never seen on him before. Well, then, he said, let's get to work. Sanda. Maikin showed up at the house. I watched her through the security camera as she ran the doorbell, knocked, peered through the window. Her eyes were drum, her hair unwashed. She looked like someone who had slept. Code. She knocked again, more insistently this time. Chris, please, I know you're in there. The call is in the driveway. Please just talk to me. I watched from the upstairs window, careful not to let her see me. She was wearing the cashmere sweater I'd bought her for Christmas. The one she'd said was too simple, but that I'd caught her wearing around the house anyway. من بيلاش? Every gesture, every choice carefully calculated reminded me of better times. Chris, she brushed her bum against the front door. Please, I'm begging you. Just give me 10 minutes. You owe me that much. I owed her nothing. But she didn't understand that yet. After 20 minutes of knock and bleeder, she gave up and sat on the first sub. That's when she sorted with the phone. She called my phone. I let it code voicemail. She called Kananike. Then the text started. Chris, please. We need to talk. I made a terrible mistake. I know that, but we can work through this. Don't throw away 9 years old for one mistake. One mistake. 8 months of lazy. And she called it one mistake. I love you. I always love you. Delerk meant nothing. I screenshot the phrase. Evidence. You could never have too much evidence. Please, Chris, your sales is killing me. That was almost funny. My sales was killing her. No differ, not the theft, no the betrayal of a phrase with supposedly bit together. My sales. I know your help. You have a free right to be angry, but keep surfaces. We can code cancel. We can start over. She was still sitting on the front step when her father's Mercedes pulled into the driveway and for a coke. I watched through the window as she got up, as Richard stepped out of the car with a face like a storm cloud, as they exchanged words I could hear. Whatever he said made her flinch. Then she got into the car and I drove. I went back to my research. Delerk Howlewa. 38 years old. MBA from World, fast act senior Phoebe by 40. Married to Victoria Howlewa, na Ashford, for 12 years. 2 children, a boy and a girl, 8 and 6. His wife came from Old Post Money, the kid that made Richard Buttress so it look like booked chind. And here's where it got interesting. Married pharmaceuticals had a strict no fraternization policy. Relationships between supervisors and subordinates were granted for immediate termination. It was right there in the employee handbook. I know because I reviewed their security policies, which include the short key message. I dig deeper. Malikin's promotion last year, the one that came with a 20% raise and a corner office, had been directed down. He'd created the position for her. Her performance reviews, which I found bad in a shared sheet for code I had access, didn't justify the advancement. I was starting to see the shape of things. This wasn't a laugh affair. This was a transaction. Derek got a yen, it acted subordinate worshipped him. Malikin got career advancement and the promise of a rich, powerful husband. The only people who were supposed to lose were me and Victoria Howlewa. I need more. I need the phrase. I found the number for eighth read, former FBD, now brief investigation. We'd worked together on a corporate being 3 years back. He was expensive, thorough, and discreet. Customer, he said when he answered. Been a while. I need your help, Heath. The personal kind. Listen. My wife's been half on a far. 8 months, maybe longer. Her boss, Kinem Derek Howlewa, Mardi pharmaceuticals. I want to know the phrase. every secret, every lie, every birthday friend. I have time and I have money. Use both. Loads. You sure about this, Chris? Once you start bullet threads, things are not fast. That's all team can turn on. Alright. Give me 2 weeks. I'll have a full picture. I hand the banister at the wall. The coldness inside me had it fed. If anything, it had hardened into something more solid, more useful. Malikin had wanted to play camps. Fine. It's been my career find vulnerabilities in systems, exploit weakness, bring the people who thought they were untouchable. This was no different. Calm on. 2 weeks later, Heath reads articles for me at my kitchen table, a thick folder between us. He looked tired but satisfied. The way a hunter looks after a successful expedition. You're going to want a drink for this, he said. That bad? That interesting. He cracked his knuckles. Look, before I get into it, are you sure you want to know everything? Because once I open this file, you can't know it. Some of what's in here is going to stay with you. I need to know. Alright, but don't say I did to warn you. He opened the folder. Let's start with your wife. Malikin Batters Taylor, Marketing Director, Meridian Pharmaceuticals. Half of the was Derek Howlow for at least 8 months, but I have reason to believe it started earlier. They meet every Thursday afternoon at the Whitmore Hotel, room 412. Derek buys cash. They're not careful. I caught photos, though I kept them this. He said for photographs across the table. Malikin and Derek in the hotel lobby, entered a room together, leaving 2 hours later, his hand on her lower back. Her smile, that secret smile is seen at dinner. The hotel staff recognized them, it continued. Housekeeping, front desk. They've become regulars. Thursdays at 2, like clockwork. Heated soil, buggertly. Thinks that base discourage. It doesn't. Whoppers. Here's where it gets interesting. It continued. Derek Howlow has done this before. At least is that I can confirm. Both teams was women who reported him. Both teams, when he got bored, they more quickly transferred their positions until they could. One of them, Rachel Carter, is still at the company. She fed a complaint 3 years ago. At sure buried it. Buried it, huh? Derek Bliskov was the CEO. Old Boys Network. Rachel Carter told she must report the situation and should focus on her career. She's been stuck in a basement cubicle ever since. When I tracked her though, she was broke, Chris. 3 years of professional purgatory because she had enough to note the wrong man. Made you Tatum. So he's not just a cheat. He's a predator. Serial predator. Uses this book every time. Flattery, special attention, implied promise of advancement. Then when he's caught what he wants, gradual withdrawal. And if the woman makes noise, well, that's on the transfers start. Or the bad performance refuse. Or the organization restructure that just happens to eliminate her position. And nobody stopped him. Who's going to stop him? He brings in millions for the company. The board loves him. Assurance is the CEO who thinks Derek cooks on water. The women he's used to scared, scattered. Some of them have signed in deals as part of the British package. The system is designed to protect men like him. Until now. Ethan Smith thinly. Until now. Cat source. Derek's not just seen Leo with. He's also been texted with a junior associate named Kyle Bain. Nothing physically yet from what I can tell, but he's come her. Simple book. Flattery, special attention, promise of mentorship. Pattern behavior. Textbook. It's about that never shit. Nah, the money. That 47th residue we've moved. I tracked it. She's been careful chunks of it to Derek. For their future investment property. His words, in a text. I quote screenshots. Here's the thing. There is no investment property. The money's just gone into his accounts. He's been running the scam for years. Carried so meant for him, gets them to invest in their future. They walks away when he's bored. Your wife isn't his first mark. She won't be his last. I sat back. He's a con artist with a con of a self-fake salary. I absorbed this. Making wasn't just yet. She was being rebel. Both of me, some distant board I thought he'd killed, almost felt sorry for her. Almost. What about his wife? I asked. Victory Holloway. Interesting woman. Used to be a journalist before she had kids. Job, educated, comes from real money. She suspected something about 6 months ago. Hired her own. I know. She got nervous, called it off before he found anything concrete, but this is suspicious to her. So she knows something is wrong, but can't prove it. Exactly. Ethan paused. There is one more thing. It's sensitive. Tell me. He pulled at a funny document. 2 years ago, your wife was broken. She had a termination. Her mother had deranged. Breast clinic in Connecticut. There is no reunion with a formation. You didn't know, did you? No. My face and forward. I didn't know. The time is suggestive. Based on when the pregnancy occurred and when her relationship with Dirk Beast have really started, it might not have been yours. I can't say for certain, but it's possible. I stared at the documents. 2 years ago, we'd been trying for a baby. Maiken had always bought it off. Not yet, she'd say. Let's saw it into the time is right. Nah, I understood. The time would never be right because she was already making other plans. Is there anything else? I asked. One more thing. Victory Hollow is brain up. Derek sent infidelity clause. If she can prove it cheat, she gets 50% of everything. Everything. House, investments, retirement accounts, the works. Derek Hollow bet his entire financial future on being reliable to keep his secret. Ethan smiled calmly. Sounds like a bad bet to me. After he left, I sat alone in the kitchen, surrounded by documents and photographs and records of betrayal. The code thin inside me had gone teeth. Victory Hollow did naughty, but we were about to become ally. And Derek and Malikin had no idea what was coming. The charity call was exactly the kind of event I normally avoid. Crystal chandeliers, waters with champagne, people expensive cosmetic expense small talk. But Derek Hollow was on the board of this sponsoring foundation, and I checked his calendar during my legitimate security would. He'd be here tonight, which meant Victory would, too. I spotted her near the sale talk table, a glass of wine in her hand, looking at the painter she clearly had no interest in. She was beautiful in a bulge, deliberate way, blonde hair swept up, black dress and straight but clearly designed. Her expression was the kind of balanced mask I recognized from my social events. I brushed carefully. The compositions are on, I said, nodded at the painter. The artist has no sense of balance. She glanced at me, surprised. You know what? I know when something's trying to hurt be what it's no. I extended my hand. Crystal. I believe we have something in common. Her eyes narrowed slightly. I don't think we haven't. But I think we're both being bled by the numbers. I have proof. I kept my face low, conversational, just to people chatted at each other. Tiffin. Would you like to say? The mask acted just for a moment. Something raw and desperate flickered in her eyes before she controlled it. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. I think you've suspected for a long time. I think every time you brought it up, he made you feel crazy, paranoid, jealous without cause. I paused. I think you heard by 6 months ago and called it off because you're afraid of what he might feign. Arhan trembled slightly, making the way up in her class. Who are you? I'm the husband of the whom your husband's been sleeping with. And I have documentaries shown back at months. Hotel receipts, photographs, messages. I'm not here to hurt you, Victory. I'm here because I think we can help each other. For a long moment, she just looked at me. Then she said quietly, there's a quote that says, "Let is feasible." 5 minutes. We found a bench behind a carefully manicured hedge, at offset of the manifest. Victory had abandoned her win and her composure. Her hands were shaking. How did you find it? She asked. She was careless. Looked at her phone too long at a family dinner. I took it. I gave her the short verge. The dinner, the messages, the discovery of the money. $47,000. Victory laughed bitterly. He's been telling me herself resort depleted because of bad investments. He's been collecting for multiple women, from what me investigate found. It's practically a con. A con. She brushed her hands at her face. I've been married to a con for 12 years. I've given him children. I've bought my career on hold. I've defended him to my family when they said he seemed too smooth, too charming, too could be true. You couldn't have known. Couldn't I? There were signs. There were always signs. She lowered her hands. Her eyes were worried, but her face was steady. 6 years ago, a woman at a company Christmas board took me say. She was drunk, but not that drunk. She told me to be careful. Said Derek had a rabbitish. I smiled and thanked her and told myself she was just jealous. What happened to her? She was transferred to the Singapore of 3 months later. I nearly foresaw her again. Victory laughed bitterly. I was so naive. I thought he'd choose me. I thought I was special. The truth is, I was just the one with enough family money to be worth marrying. I'm sorry. Or you? Or are you just here because you need something from me? Fair question. Both, I admit it. I'm sorry you're going through this. And yes, I need really. There can make need for consequences, and I want to coordinate our approach. But I'm not going to let you or manipulate you. I think we've both had enough of that. She studied me for a long moment. Then slowly, she nodded. What do you know about his assets? She asked. Some. Not the phrase. I know a phrase. Her face had hardened. I've been keeping track for years, if when I wasn't sure we. He has headacants in his brother's name. Stock options his name for disclosed. A property in Miami he thinks I don't know about. And the brain up infidelity cause. 70% of a freeze buff I can prove it. A cold smile caused her face. He thought I was too stupid to understand what I was saying. He thought I was just a trophy with who'd look the other way. What do you want to do? I want to destroy him, she said simply. No, just divorce him. Destroy him. Take his money, his reputation, his certainty that he can do whatever he wants without consequence. She looked at me. What do you want? The same. For both of them. Then let's talk strategy. Over the next hour, we mapped the third bush. Victory would hand the divorce, tame it for maximum back, catch him completely off guard. I would hand the preparation distraction, use my legitimate position as mardi secured consultant expose the policy violations without telefordor غنيث غليكي. He's been using corporate resources for his affairs, I explained. Company email for explicit messages, traffic expense charge for person hotels. When I flag it as a security concern, which it genuinely is, they'll have to investigate. And once they start investigate the Derek, they'll find Mike. Her performance reviews, or fabricate, Victory said. Derek told me once, when he was drunk, that he helped some underperforming employee look better on paper. I didn't realize at the time he meant his misters. I'll make sure the investigation is thorough. And the other room, this Rachel quarter I managed. I'm hoping she'll come forward once the investigation starts. Once there is precedent, once it's clear the company is actually taking it seriously, she might finally feel safe enough to. Secretary know this early. We need coordinate team. If I fail for divorce before the professional consequences, he might be able to mount some defense. But if the company is already investigated, he'll be too busy defending himself on multiple fronts. He won't know which fire to put at first. Anne Malik. She goes down with him. They take themselves together. They can't sing together. We shook hands. The other, behind the hedge. Two strangers united by betrayal. Then we went back to the car separately and spent the rest of the evening pretending nothing had changed. Everything had changed. 3 weeks after the call, I submit my security audit report to Murdy Pharmaceuticals legal counsel. The report was factual, professional, and utterly devastated. During my routine review of Kverky female security, I had discovered significant policy violations, including person use of corporate communication systems for non-business purposes, inappropriate exchanges between supervisory and subordinate personnel, and potential misuse of company expense systems. I didn't name Derek specifically. I didn't have to. The email addresses spoke for themselves. I copied the chore on the report. I copied the CEO's office. I recommend immediate investigation to evaluate conducted mitigate potential liability exposure. Within 48 hours, Derek Howloa was placed on administrative leave. Secretary called me that evening. It's starting, she said. It's starting. He came home in a rage. Said someone was sabotaging him, trying to destroy his career. He has no idea it's you. Code. Let's keep it that way. I'm seeing my lawyer tomorrow. I want the divorce papers ready to serve the moment this investigation concludes. Perfect time. I hung up and stared at my phone. No satisfaction yet. Too early for that. But something like anticipation. The dominoes are starting to fall. Malikin called me for the first time since the Sunday after the dinner. Her face was shaking. Chris, something is happening at work. The expenses bend. There's an investigation. I said nothing. Chris, please. I know you're angry. I know you have a free right to be, but if this investigation, if they find that but you're for with your married boss, you mean? It will ruin me. My career, everything I've worked for. You should have thought about that before you started sleeping with your married boss and steal money from your husband. Chris, could be, Mike. I hung up. The investigation at Murdy moved faster than I expected. Derek, panic, had done exactly what I anticipated. He told Malikin to delete the phrase she had. But she'd forgot that she'd logged into her accounts on my tablet 2 years ago, and the phrase had synced to my cloud backup. I had copies of messages she thought were gone forever. More importantly, Derek's pattern of behavior started to merge. Petshore interviewed his previous assistants. One of them broke down the interview room and described the phrase. The flattery, the pressure, the imbecile threats to her career she did completely. And then Rachel Carter came forward. 3 years of silence, and she finally had the chance to tell her story. Not just about Derek's advances, but about the retaliation she'd faced when she reported them. The demotions disguised as transfers. The project's takeaway, the performance reviews that mysteriously declined. She had documentaries, she had witnesses, she had years of suppressed theory. I got her contact information from it and called her just to tell her what was happening. Remore teller, she said, her face corded. I know who you are. You're the security consultant. I'm also the husband of Derek's latest conquest. I thought you should know that the company is finally investigated. For real this time. Sales on the line. 3 years, she said finally. 3 years have been waiting for someone to take this seriously. 3 years of watching him walk past my desk, make you in the besom, smiling like nothing happened. Do you know what that does to a birth? I can imagine. No, you can't. Her face cracked. Before him, I was on the leadership track. Top performer, 3 years run. I had a future. Then I made the mistake of turning him down. And suddenly, I could do anything right. My projects got racing. My ideas got carried to other people. My manager started rating me up for things I'd done this more for years. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for your sympathy. I'm looking for accountability. She took a breath. You said there are investigators. For real this time. They have evidence they can't ignore. Multiple complaints, a bad trial. Will they fire him? I believe so. Another load sales. What do you need from me? Nothing you're not ready to give. But if you're willing to file a formal complaint, now would be the time. There are other women coming forward. 60 in numbers. Other women? She laughed. A harsh, bitter sound. Of course there are. There are all woods or. I tried to warn them. Some of them listen. Most didn't. The companies that want money discover quickly. But if there are multiple formal complaints, it becomes harder to sweep under the rug. And if I come forward, what happens to me? I can't promise anything. But the landscape has changed. The rug is already on administrative leave. The companies look at a significant liability exposure this time. You won't be alone. She was quiet for so long I thought she'd hang up. That in, I'll do it. I've been waiting 3 years for this chance. I'm not going to let it pass. Thank you, Rachel. Don't thank me, Elle. Thank me when he's gone. Within 2 weeks of my report, Derek Hollow was terminated for cause. No self-service, no recommendation. His office was kindred by security while he watched, humiliated, as his belongings were loaded into cardboard boxes. I heard later that he tried to argue, tried to invoke his relationship with the CEO. None of it worked. The evidence was too damning, the liability too high. Macon was terminated this Sunday. Her fabricated performance refuse had come to lay. Her special projects did exist. Her position, the one Derek had credited for her, was eliminated. She was escorted from the building at 3 in the afternoon, carrying her plants and photos and the remnants of her destroyed career. That evening, Victoria served Derek with the false purpose. I heard later that he screamed for an hour. Nath handed me the false with surgical precision. With Malikin employed, exposed, and professionally destroyed, she had no leverage. Her attorney tried to argue for alimony. Nothing demolished him. The meeting was in a dent and conference room, all polished wood and leather chairs. My attorney was a shop-made woman named Reneds, brought in by Richard to salvage something from the wreckage. My client has been married to Mortimer for 6 years, Reneds began. During that time, she contributed the household, supported his career, and built a life with him. She is entitled, Your Client, Nelson interrupted calmly, systematic embezzle $47,000 from my client over at months. She was conducting an affair with her supervisor, which directly led to her termination. She has no claim to the marital home, which Mortimer Taylor purchased before the marriage. She has no claim to his term defense. She has no claim to anything except the return of what she stole. Rened's expression flickered. Those are serious accusations. There are documented facts. I have bank records shown the transfers to a head person again. I have time-stamped messages from Radifa. I have evidence that immorals, was actively planned to divorce my client and take cases she had no right. Nellis said a folder across the table. Feel free to review. Ranel took the folder. Mike, sitting beside her, had come for a bail. This is comprehensive, not finish. Your cane can either accept a clean the force with no claims to make clean, or we can let it. And if we let it, a free thread that folder becomes public record. A free message, a free photo, a free financial transaction. Sales in the conference room. May I have a moment with me clean? Run in desk. Take all the time you need. That is step 2. Navis interrupted me. She'll take the deal. Her attorney knows they can't do this. He was right. 10 minutes later, they came back. Malikin is alright. Remorse, will accept the terms, Rani said stiffly. But she wants the record to reflect that she disputes the characterization of her action. She can dispute whatever she wants, Ness said. The documents speak for themselves. Malikin sat because the conference table looked smaller than it ever seen her. She'd lost to her. Her designer clothes hung around. Her hair was limp and washed. She didn't look like the bullshit marketed director anymore. She looked like someone whose carefully constructed life had collapsed. Chris? Her face was barely above a whisper. Please, can we talk? Just the two of us. I looked at her for a long moment. This woman had left. This woman had planned a future with. This woman would been still for me will whisper lies in my ear. No, I said. There is nothing to talk about. The divorce was finally 6 weeks later. I caught the freeze. She called nothing except the requirement to pay the $47,000. Her birth through the check to make it cover. Richard Batters could stand the public embarrassment of his daughter being sold. Speaking of the bars, Richard's reputation took air. His country club friends whispered. His cough buddies made excuse not to be. The careful social standard he'd spent decades building crumble a little more each day. Lind could barely show her face at the church. They blamed me, of course. Shocked the messenger. But deep down, they know. They know whose fault it really was. Victory's divorce from Derek was even more brutal than me. I was there, of course, but she told me Bert left her for coffee at the very usual spot. Her face was calm, almost cynical, as she described the moment she'd waited 12 years for. He came home that night after the termination, she said. I was sitting at the kitchen table with the divorce papers already laid. My attorney was in the left room. A forensic entity was reviewing documents in the study. How did he react? At first, he didn't understand. He thought I was there to comfort him about losing his job. He actually started grumbling about how unfair it was, as someone had sabotaged him. She smiled calmly. Then he saw the papers. What did he say? He said I was making a mistake. He said I'd regret it. He said we could work through this like this. The smile faded. Then I showed him the photographs. The hotel records. The messages I'd caught from your investigator. And I watched his face change. From what to what? From confident, confused, scared. She picked up her coffee. He tried to deny. Said the photos were fake, the messages were out of context. But when I showed him the financial records, the hidden accounts, the money he'd been collecting from your wife and the others, that's when he knew it was over. The infidelity clause kicked in. She caught 70% of her freeze. The house, the investments, the hidden accounts, the Miami property. Custody was weighted heavily in her favor. Derek's shade support bombs would consume most of what he had left. His attorney tried to negotiate, Victory continued. Tried to argue that the prenup was unconscionable, that had manipulated him into sin. My attorney, called, I laughed at whom, she'd just laugh. She said, your case sent this document 12 years ago for legal representation as to send me. He knew exactly what he was a criminal. He just never thought he'd get caught. And he accepted the terms. He didn't have a choice. Fate in court and refusal becomes public record. His affairs, the financial manipulation, all of it. His career was already destroyed. His reputation was the only thing they had left to protect. She sat down her coffee. So he said. And I watched him say. And for the first time in 12 years, I felt like I could breathe. But the financial distraction was enough. Victory had contacts in media. Her former journalism career gave her connections. She started writing, carefully, like with names that could trigger lawsuits, about survival notices confidently. A blockbuster went fair. A book deal followed. The lyric, meanwhile, spared. His industry reputation was destroyed. Companies that had been eager to hire a dynamic senior VP wanted nothing to do with a man fired for cause for workplace harassment. His unemployment stretched from 6 months. And Malik, making discovered what Derek had known all along. She was never going to be his wife. She was entertainment. A conquest. A mark. He never intended to leave you, she told Victoria once during a click offer to a coffee shop that Victoria later described to me. He promised me we'd be together. He promised me the freeze. He promised the something stretch الكورتر, Victoria replied. أنت كالب أنت. أنت هاي for many letters he's used to for the years. You weren't special, Malik. You were just nuts. I'm told Malik did have a response that. 3 months after my divorce was finalized, I saw the house. Too many memories in those walls. Too many fingers were read sat in the living room while my wife texted her lover the next room. Too many dinners were she'd smiled at me and called me sweetheart and calculated how much money she could save that month. I bought a condo downtown. Modern, clean. No costs. My business was thriving. The way I'd handled the Mardin situation had affected it. Companies wanted a security consultant who was discreet, professional, and thorough. I had more work than I could handle. I was in dating. Was it ready? But I was sleeping through the night most nights. The dreams about Malik laugh at that dinner table were curtainless fake. Rachel Carter imagined me out of the blue. The company had settled with her, a substantial sum for the hostel or confirmed she'd endure. More importantly, she was starting a support group for women who'd experienced workplace harassment. She asked if I'd be willing to speak at one of the events about recognizing the size of predatory behavior. I said yes. It felt like the money he'd given me for his investigation had been well spent, not just for my revenge, but for something larger. Victoria and I developed a likely friendship. We met for coffee once a month. Two people bond by betrayal and survive. She sent me early drafts of her book. I gave her honest feedback. We did talk about her Malik much anymore. We talked about our kids, hers, and my work, and the strange experience of rebuilding a life from scorched earth. Do you ever regret it? She asked me once. The way we handled it. No, I said. Daddy made it choice. We made sure there were consequences. I don't think that's wrong. Sometimes I wonder if I should feel guilty for being so calculated about it. Do you feel guilty? She thought about it. No. Not really. I feel relief. I feel free. She smiled. And I feel rich. That made me laugh. First I made laughed in months. 1 year later, I was seeing someone new. Alice. Nathan had introduced us. She was a pediatrician, completely unlike Malik in every way that matter. She knew about my divorce, the both strokes I knew. She did ask for details. I appreciated that. It wasn't serious yet. I was taking things slow. Maybe too slow. But for the first time since that dinner, I could imagine a future. Not the future I'd planned with Mike, but something different. Something honest. Then Mike enriched her. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to say something. Can we meet? Not to reconcile. Just to apologize. Please. I stared at that message for a long time. My first instinct was to ignore it, the way I'd ignored all her other messages over the past year. That something made me buzz. Maybe curiosity. Maybe closure. Maybe just the desire to see with mayonnaise what she'd become. When meeting. Public place. Coffee. She was worried when I arrived at the cafe. I barely recognized her. The bullshit marketed director was calm. Her hair was different, darker, simpler. No designer clothes, just jeans and a plain sweater. She'd lost weight in a way that didn't look healthy. But it was her race that struck me most. Something had gone out of them. The spark, the khaki lash, the constant cynicism, all of it was gone. She looked tired. Defeated. Thank you for coming, she said as I sat down. I almost did. I know. She wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. I've been trying to figure out what to say for months. I've written 100 letters and deleted all of them. So say what you need to say. She took a breath. I'm sorry. No, just for the fur, though I am sorry for that. For all of it. For the lies, for the money, for the years I spent pretending to be someone I wasn't. For the way I made you feel like you weren't enough when the truth was, I did deserve you. I said nothing. I'm no that excuse. I could tell you but how Dirk made me feel special, how he promised me a life I thought I wanted, how I convinced myself that what I was doing was somehow justified. But none of that matters. I did what I did. I made choices. I have to live with them. You do? I've been in therapy. A lot of therapy. A cost of a smile. My father's burning for it. I think it's the only way he knows how to deal with his disappointment in me. What made you finally rich? She looked down at her coffee. I had hit bottom first. The unemployment, living with my parents, listened to their disappointment every day, watched everyone I used to know cross the street to avoid me. And then one night, about 3 months ago, I was laying in bed at 2 in the morning and I realized something. What? That I didn't recognize myself anymore. The woman who'd done those things, the lying, the stealing, the betrayal, she wasn't someone I wanted to be. She was someone I could expel. I'd spent years building this perfect exterior, and underneath it, I was rotten. She shook her head. I told my therapist that. She said the first step toward change was saying losses clearly. So I started trying to do that. And what do you say? Someone who was selfish. Who was empty inside and tried to fill that emptiness with validation from men who wouldn't refer to love her. Someone who took a good man for granted because she was too broke to appreciate what she had. She finally looked up at me. I say someone who deserves what happened to her. Who needed to lose her faith to understand what Denise was worth. The smile faded. I ruined everything, Chris. My career, my family, my marriage. And the worst part is, I can't even blame anyone else. This was done to me. I did it myself. I waited. I don't expect forgiveness, she continued. I don't expect anything from you. I just need you to hear me say that I know what I did. I understand it now in a way I did before. And I'm sorry. Genuinely, fully sorry. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. I looked at this woman I'd been married for 6 years. This woman I'd loved, trusted, built a life with. This woman who'd turn all of it do for a man who never intended catch her. Did I forgive her? No. Something's old forgivable. But sitting there, looking at the ruins of who she used to be, I realized I didn't hurt her anymore. The anchor that had driven me through the investigation, the divorce, the systematic destruction of her world, it was gone. Spent. There was nothing left but a kind of distant sadness for what we'd both lost. I appreciate you saying that, I said faintly. I hope you find this, Malik. I genuinely do. But we're done. We've been done since that dinner. She nodded. Her eyes were worried, but she didn't cry. I know. I just needed to set it. I stood up. Could be, Malik. Could be, Chris. I walked out of that cafe and didn't look back. Strange thing. I didn't feel satisfaction. Didn't feel triumph. Just nothing. And that? Nothing, after a freeze, felt like the closest friend made found in a long time. 6 months later, I got a letter from attorney. Linda Batters had died. Heart attack. Said unexpected. According to her family, she'd been in declined health for months. Stress, the doctor said. Too much stress. The letter included a personal note from Linda herself, written the weeks before her death. Dear Chris. I know I have no right to write to you. I know you probably hate me, and I don't blame you. But I'm dying. I can feel it. And I can't leave this world without telling you the truth. I know about the long before you discovered them. Malikin came to meet her when she found that she was broken 2 years ago. She didn't know whose child it was, yours or his. I helped her in the pregnancy. I told her it was for the best. I convinced myself I was protected her, protected you, protected everyone from a scandal that would destroy you so. I was wrong. I was a coward. I chose my reputation and my family's mediocre honesty, over decency, over you, a man who had done nothing but love my daughter. If includes a check for $100, so. I know money can't fix what was broke, but I want you to have it. Do something good with it. Something that might make up in some small way for the home we caused. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry for the phrase. Lind. I read the letter 3 times. Then I sat in my quiet bottom and stared at the wall for a very long time. 2 years ago. A pregnancy. A child that might have been mine. All of it had, covered up, erased. Unladen a fornoun. I'd been walking through my marriage blind while everyone around me so clearly. The check was still in the envelope. $200,000. Kept money. Conscious money. Money that could bring back the child I'd forgot to know about, could terrace the years of lies, could rebuild what had been systematically destroyed. I thought about what to do with it. For a while, I considered selling it back, some kind of statement about not wanting anything from that family. But that would be bread talking, and bread was wasted. Instead, I called Rachel Carter. Chris, she said, surprised. Is everything okay? I have a donation for your organization. A substantial one. Yama, that's wonderful. Can I ask how much? $200, so. Say less on the line. Then, Chris, are you serious? Someone who wronged me left it me in her will. I don't want it for myself. But I want it mean something. Use it for the support cubes. Use it for legal fees for whom fit and back into predators. Use it halally for you think will do the most good. I don't know what to say you'll put the torque. We will. I promise you we will. After I hung up, I felt something certain inside me. The last base of Linda Batters's kit transformed into something useful. Something that might actually help people. It was the best revenge of all, I decided. Not distraction. Transformation. Taking something ugly and making it beautiful. Alison, I took a weekend trip to the coast. We'd been together almost a year by then, careful, bashed, neither of us in a rush. We walked on the beach as the sun set, her hand on me. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Do you ever regret it? The way things end with Malik. I mean, the whole calculated bush. I thought about it. I thought about the dinner, the phone, the messages. I thought about $47,000 and 8 months of late. I thought about Derek Howlow's working through corporate meetings where he destroyed families. I thought about Rachel Carter stuck a basement cubicle for 3 years because she dared say no. I thought about Victoria Threfona, Realiserar kidsen hashi the tree. I thought about riches or kinzesh crown strong refreshment. I thought about the woman who'd come forward because someone had finally believed them. I used to think revenge would feel like victory, I said finally. It didn't. It felt like surgery. Removal something that was killing me. I don't regret it. I regret that it was necessary. Alice squeezed my hand. That's probably the healthiest perspective if I ever heard on revenge. I've had a lot of therapy. She laughed. Hasn't we all? We walked in comfortable sales as they touched the race. My phone buzzed. Nath, send a photo of his newborn son. The baby was red faced and naked and perfect. Meet your code son, the message read. We're calling him Christopher. I showed Alice. She smiled. He's beautiful. He is. Life moves forward. It always does, for those who let it move with. It's been a year though delays I built my phone. Not I was building something new. Something honest. Something mine. The sensors over the water, and I stood there with a code womb beside me and a future ahead of me and no cuss at my back. It was enough. After a freeze, it was more than enough. 6 weeks later, Nathan's from had their holiday party at some obscure restaurant tent. I did usually attend these things, but Bill a code folder came with certain obligations, including showing up when Nathan's partners wanted to show off the baby photos. I was careful I drank at the bar when a familiar face cut through the noise. Crystal swallowed. I turned. Derek Howell stood there, thinner than I remembered, his expense suit slightly too big. The confident swagger was gone, replaced by something harder to defy. Desperation trained masquerade as composure. He held a glass of whiskey and with the smell of a man pretending he was drowning. Derek. I kept my face neutral. Did it expect to see you here? Consult work. If discrastic vacates find him bloom eventually, if there will it be humble. The smell did reach his eyes. I hear you're doing well. Business boom, no relationship. Quite the recovery. I managed. He stepped closer, lowered his voice. I know it was you. The security road. The concerns about the kid FEMA. The time was too perfect by coincidence. I said nothing. You know what the funny thing is? I actually respected you. When we first met at that security briefing, I thought, here's a kid who knows his stuff. Professional, combat. He took a sip of whiskey. I had no idea you were married to her. Not at the first. By the time I found that, it was already too late to stop. Too enjoyable choices. His jaw tightened. She pursued me. Did she tell you that? I wasn't looking for an answer. She came to me, walked into my office one day and made it very clear what she wanted. So you're the victim here. I'm saying that they stop people having fun. I made mistakes, sure. But I did force her to do neither. She wanted everything she could. The attention, the promotion, the promise. She wanted it all. And when you got bored, when you moved on to the next one, what was she supposed to do? He blinked. There wasn't going to be a next one. Malikin and I, spare me. I've read the messages, Derek. All of them. The ones from 2 years ago from the womb before Mike. The ones you sent Kelberent while you were still with my wife. You have a pattern. You've always had a pattern. You ruined my life, you know. My marriage, my career, everything I built. You built it on a foundation of lies and exploitation. I just made sure other people could see what was underneath. I fed a factual report about genuine security violations. The company found all of their investigation was they done. It was yours. You coordinated with my wife, he said, and there was hit in his face now. She told me. Victory. The two of you blend this together. You used each other to destroys. Victorine I both wanted the toast kama. We coordinate temo. Nothing more. Everything that happened to you, Derek, happened because of your own choice. Made choices. He laughed bitterly. You think you're so righteous, so morally superior, but you're just as calculated as I was. You're just better at hiding it. Maybe. But here's the difference between us. I looked him in the eye. When I'm done, I can look at myself in the mirror. Can you? His face flushed. You sanctimonious, everything okay here? Nathan beard at my elbow, all casual friendliness was still underneath. Derek stepped back, visibly composed of himself. Fine. Just catching up with an old acquaintance. Here is his class in a mock toast. Good seeing you, Chris. Enjoy your evening. He walked away, disappeared into the crowd. Nathan watched him go. What was that about? Unfinished business. Don't worry about it. You sure? I'm sure. I picked up my drink. Nah, show me those baby pictures. I need something to look at that is Derek Holloway's face. Neff laughed and bowled at his phone, and I let myself be drawn into photos of my code Santini Finker's ridiculous expression. Derek Holloway was behind me. Every sense that mattered. The future was hell, and for the first time in a very long time, that future looked bright.